fucking ass, man. Alright, moving on to the final film of this evening, and another Eddie Murphy film, another 80s cop buddy film called 84 Hours, and another 84 Hours. 84 Hours was a film directed by Walter Hill, and it was released in 1983, and this was Eddie Murphy's first appearance in big screen. And in this film, Eddie Murphy plays this small-time criminal who is in prison, and Nick Nolte plays this cop who wants to nail these couple of psychos who have escaped from jail, played by James Remar and Sonny Landham, Billy from Predator. So Nick Nolte needs Eddie Murphy's help, and Eddie Murphy, Richie Hammond was his name. He has been bullshitted this criminal gang, so he has hidden the money and waiting to get out of jail so he can live rich for the rest of his life. But these guys who he betrayed have another plans. They need the money, they need to see Eddie Murphy dead, and also Nick Nolte dead, because he is the cop who is trying to figure out where these guys are and try to nail them. So Nick Nolte goes to jail and finds this Reggie Hammond, and then they become partners. Very like a very conflicting partners, to say the least. I mean, this follows like the good tradition of, you know, like good cop, bad cop tradition. This kind of buddies that are completely different persons, but during the film, as the film goes on, they become friends and start to respect each other. And also, for this being Eddie Murphy films, there's a lot of vocal comedy, a lot of swearing, a lot of slurring in this film, and also pretty weird to hear these lines nowadays. But fortunately, Paramount is no Disney; they didn't censor this film, but Nick Nolte uses the N-word quite a few times on Eddie Murphy, and it's kind of like a funny to hear the N-word nowadays in a film, and said by a film's main character who is not a bad guy, but he says that to Eddie Murphy. But overall, Walter Hill, the guy who directed also Warriors and Extreme Prejudice and Last Man Standing. I think he has done like 30 films. Pretty productive film director, and mostly connected with his action stuff. And while this is not a pure action film, I think this would be more like an action comedy thriller. But the action scenes that are here, they're okay, nothing too special. But I think the main attraction in this film is the chemistry between Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte. I think Beverly Hills Cop is a lot better film than 48 Hours, but I kind of have a soft spot for this, because this is like a very old-fashioned film that they really don't make anymore. You know, fists fly, bullets fly, words fly. That works. You know, classic action. In good and in bad, like they used to make it back in the day in Hollywood. The picture quality, I have to say that usually I give compliments, but I really cannot, compliment this picture quality. I don't know what happened. These are from same period, 48 Hours, and also this was from year 1984. So how come this picture quality is so much worse in this 48 Hours? Many times I was watching it, I was thinking that I honestly can't tell if this is a Blu-ray. This looks like a Blu-ray. Very few shots in this film. Like these wide shots where the San Francisco is shot beautifully. They look sharp. But every time we're inside and, this like close-ups, they look very flat. This scene, very unsharp. Very Blu-rays. Sure, there's a lot of there's some of the Dolby Vision enhancement here and there, but I gotta tell you that pretty disappointing 4K. But like I said, this is so much more better, this Beverly Hills Cop. This really looks like a 4K with Dolby Vision, and this looks like a upscale from Blu-ray with some Dolby Vision thrown in. I really can't tell. Are there like two teams in Paramount who are doing this disc, or what's going on here? I don't know. Yeah, I would rate 48 Hours 3-star film, and then also add here that this disc, unlike the Finnish disc, to my knowledge, does not include the Walter Hill interview, which is included with both films. It's the different interview. It's a pretty interesting interview. 20 minutes. Walter Hill talks about his career in movie making and stuff like that. How they made 48 Hours and stuff like that. And also, like Beverly Hills Cop, this also includes the iconic music by James Horner. And I don't know how many times James Horner has, copied himself. If you have listened to soundtrack of 48 Hours, another 48 Hours, Commando, Red Heat, listen to these films. The theme songs in all these films, they look so similar. All made by James Horner. I don't know what he told the producer. He thought, yeah, I made some new music. Listen to this. Okay, this sounds exactly like the previous one. Yeah, it's great. I don't know. And one more thing about the 48 Hours. Hey, this is the real cover. This is the original artwork. I have the Finnish VHS over here with good Molo covers here. And hey, why do you have used these boring Photoshop covers when you have this great cover? Also, the re-release of this, it's edited so that Eddie Murphy is like holding only the fist like that. The middle finger has been drawn over. But this is why they couldn't use it. I understand it's a middle finger there, so they couldn't use this original artwork, but this is what you want to see, right? So 48 Hours came in year 1990 and also directed by Walter Hill and also produced by Gordon Carroll and was it Joel Silver too? Well, anyway, 48 Hours is pretty much the, kind of like the same thing than the first one. Eddie Murphy is still in prison, still missing his money, and Nick Nolte needs Eddie Murphy's help in order to catch this Iceman, the mysterious criminal mastermind who is doing jobs around the town. And also Nick Nolte has been searching this guy for years or something, and apparently this Iceman, he's trying to ice Eddie Murphy. He's hiring some motorcycle maniacs, these hard guns to, kill Eddie Murphy. So Nick Nolte goes to jail, and once more Eddie Murphy and Nick Nolte, they are like very hateful to each other in the beginning, but as the story unfolds, they are becoming friends once again. It's a complicated plot, but the main problem, the main thing to understand here is that there's this motorcycle gang. They want to kill Eddie Murphy, and Nick Nolte, they try to find out who is this mysterious Iceman. I used to watch the shit out of this film because this was shown in Finnish television back in the day, and I remember recording it, and I remember enjoying this film quite a lot. And back then we didn't have too much films to choose from, so I remember watching this a lot of times. In that point that I even got bored with it, like, oh man, I have seen this like a million times. Why I want to watch it again? But now I watch it again, and I do think that the sequel is a little bit better than the original one, because Here too, the chemistry is better, and also I think this film knows a little bit more what it's about. You know, it's like a sort of like almost like a remake of the first one. And everything is better. Action is better, there's more action, and I think Andrew Divoff and the other bicycle guy in this film, they are doing very good bad guy roles. And also, as supporting characters we have in this film, we have also Brian James from Blade Runner. So it's a top billing cast of badasses of the era. Like I said, I think I like this a little bit more than the first one, but I wouldn't raise this as a masterpiece either, this film. It's okay, and a little bit I have a little bit overwatched this, let's call it that. But watching it again, I did not complain. It was fun time, and James Horner music sounds exactly the same than in the first one. And on the extra side, on Blu-ray, we have the Walter Hill interview. This, by the way, this double edition includes 2 4K discs and 2 Blu-rays here. Walter Hill interview. And for the price of $27, I think this was a good deal. And you get this nice slipcover on it as well. So, any opinions about 48 Hours? Do you like Beverly Hills Cop more, or are there somebody who likes 84 Hours and another 84 Hours even more?